Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. As you can see what we have in front of us here. I've got my diagnosed hat on. Let's do this together. Sorted. Now what I'm doing is I'm getting a few more tools together because as you know, very shortly I will be doing full restoration on a car. Haven't shown you yet. We'll also be doing work on my van and I need to be building a spit for the car that we are going to be restoring. I want to build roll cages and stuff for the van. So I needed a crosscut. And I've seen loads of people using these crosscuts on the floor and I'm always thinking, why are they using them on the floor? Why don't they buy a crosscut table? I got all this secondhand, by the way, the table, the saw, everything secondhand. I paid absolutely peanuts for it. I couldn't afford it new. People think, oh, you got your own business, you're loaded. It's just not the case. Well, not for me anyway. And I very soon realized why they don't do it. I just assumed, oh yeah, the wooden crosscuts will fit on this, so why won't the metal ones? Yeah, just won't. So it's too low. If it comes on the bottom legs here, these rollers, the saw sits too low. So I've actually got a 50mm piece of wood in there at the minute to raise this up by 50mm. And as you can see, it then gives me the room for the rollers to work. So what I'm going to do in this video is, just because if I don't film it, someone's going to ask me about it. And it's a lot easier to show it in a film than it is to try and explain. I've just got 50mm angle iron, 25mm flat plate, and 50mm by 50mm box. And what I'm going to do, very, very easy, with the saw, we're going to make a raised platform that comes off the legs here to the actual saw itself. And it means then I can actually use this bench. And I know people are going to say, oh, when you cut a 45-degree angle, it's not going to work. Yes, granted, but I have other tables then that's going to work for big, long poles and stuff. It's just, I think it's going to be a lot better working at level. So in other words, when I'm cutting something, I'm not bending, it's at working level. I think it's going to be a lot easier. There's going to be no welding this, just cutting, drilling and bolting. It's going to be absolutely boring, so you might as well turn off now. And yeah, so let's see what I've got planned for this. Believe me when I say it's going to be boring. I've just got various nuts and bolts in here. I'm going to use M6 bolts to bolt the frame onto the saw and then the frame onto the actual mounting frame here on the table. Let's just remove all this and I'll show you exactly what we're dealing with. Right, the steel I've got is completely overkill. But it was the thinnest stuff I could get for the size I needed. I needed 2mm box section, 50mm box section because the way it bolts onto here, and that happened to come in. It was like 5mm thick, or I think it's 5mm thick, or 3mm this stuff is. But anyway, it's way too much. The box is 3mm thick as well, which is way too much, but it's what I could get for the size I needed. This is what the saw normally sits on. If you've got a wooden crosscut, it'll sit on here. These arms can be removed and you can take the saw off, very nice and easy. But in my case, if the saw sits down here, I can't use the rollers, which is pointless then. So I need to build, very simple, I'm just going to build two box sections off here, angle iron. I'm going to then get this here. So I'm going to use the box section just to go across the flat on both sides. Then I'm going to use the angle iron under this lip here, bolt the angle iron with 4 bolts on each side. And I'm going to use this 1mm plate as well, or 1-inch plate, 25mm plate on here. And it's going to act as a big washer to sandwich the 2 plates in between, so it takes all the pressure off here. Do that on both sides, and then I'm going to bolt the box to the actual black frame part here. That means I can still remove the saw whenever I want, and I don't need to put it on this. And it is, yeah, granted, it'd be a bit annoying unbolting it, but it's not the end of the world. I'm going to be mainly using this saw on this table. So that's the plan. So what I'm going to have to do is get cutting. We're going to use my saw. We've got an old blade in the minute. We've got the TCT blade, which is the metal blade. It's not the ordinary blade, and I'll show you that in a second. So it's the newer style blade, one that looks like a wood blade, but it actually is a metal blade. and it just gives you a lot nicer cut. These blades are ridiculously expensive, but they do last a long time. So this blade is old, but it still cuts through the metal like butter. I've only used it once just to quickly try to make sure it was working, because at the end of the day this is a second-hand saw. And let's start cutting. Now when you look at that, that's an old blade, hardly any burr on there, just so much better. Look how clean that cut is. And this is an old blade, and the saw's old as well. Absolutely beautiful. That's why I got it, because especially making roll cages, the spits, making the spit as well, having a nice square edge makes all the difference. That is a beautiful cut. To give you an idea, this is the cut they made from a big still saw. And you can see, look at the burr on that, look at the horrible shape of that, and that to square it up. And look at that. Huge difference. That'll just give you an idea. Yes, this is still workable, but there's a lot more you have to grind off this to make it nice for welding. That's ready to go. So I'm just going to cut my second piece, and that's going to sit there. I'm just going to take the tiniest bits off this, because I really don't like the cut on that. Didn't quite take enough off, but it'll do me for what I need. And before anyone asks, yes, I am wearing goggles. Now this should be my base now. We'll remove the piece of wood. Because what I've planned to do is, this sits on top of here, with the angle iron coming up, which is going to go into there. I'm going to bolt the angle iron to the box, but put a big long bolt all the way through into here too. So everything's going to be bolted together. But the saw then will sit on top of that. That's the plan, which should give me, once that happens, enough height I knew that was going to happen. Now, if I actually thought about it for a second, I could have made my life a lot easier. But no, I had to keep going and try and make it work. Just don't ask. Just don't ask. But I was trying to sandwich it between the two pieces of metal for vibration reasons. I didn't want it to break and snap off and blah, 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 blah. You'll get the idea when you watch the rest. Hopefully that gives me the height where the rollers work. As you can see, they do. But not only that, they actually can go lower, which is perfect. It means I've got my adjustment on my rollers now. That's what I wanted. These also slide out this way too if you want an extra bit of room. So it's going to be slightly higher because the 3 or 4 mil angle iron is going to be lifted off there too, but that's not the end of the world really, but I'm a lot happier now with that. I suppose technically yes, I could just put a big long bolt all the way through there, but the problem is with that, it doesn't particularly line up with the slots that's already in the marks here, so that's why I can't do that. And not only that, I can't do it on the back one because of the tray to hold all the filings. So that's why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. I like it. I bloody like it. Foot 30, 300, 310 mil. That's what we'll do. I'm just going to cut the two pieces of angle iron to the same. This is going to be bolted on the outside. The angle iron will be bolted inside. This is like a big washer slash spreader plate, just to take all the pressure from the actual drill itself, or the body of the drill. So once I've cut them, no point in me filming that, it's just cutting. Right, here's the glitter tray, as I call it. It's all the bits when it was cutting. Looks like glitter. You can put that when you go to a disco and look like a 14-year-old girl. Now, just to give you an idea of how nice the cut is, this is what it cuts the angle iron at. And just look at the fitment on that. Not that we're fitting it like this to that, but if you're just welding that to there, look at that. Absolutely perfect. And that's an old blade. Now let's show you what I'm going to do with it. So these are going to be faced in that way, and again, I know they're overkill, but like I said, it's the only ones I could get for the size I needed, because I wanted to go further in on the lip. I could have got 25 mil angle, but then it wouldn't have been higher enough on here. The hole would have been kind of down here. I want the hole to be in the middle, so it's got a lot of meat either side. That's why I went for this. Then on the outside, once I drilled the holes, this will bolt onto the outside of it, and it'll act as a big washer and spread in the load. And I'm going to put either 4 or 3, I might just put 3, I think 3 is going to be enough. 3 M6s through there, and 3 M6s through there, and possibly 3 M6s through here as well. Just depends on how it lands. I mean, there's only M6s, only 2 M6s come with this anyway, so if I put 2 on, I'm matching what it should be. If I'm putting 3 on, I'm going overboard again, so it's going to be secure enough. I'm not sure. What I've got to do now is line it up in the middle and see exactly where I want this on the machine. Once I've done all that, turn the camera back on, because I'm going to have to dismantle the machine a little bit at the back to remove the little bin that holds all the sparkly bits, because this is going to be in the way for the minute. So once I line it all up, we'll continue. Did have to cut 3 little slots in, which I'll show you in a minute why I had to do that for the side of the drill, but I've got it now. I'm going to drill 4 holes because of the way the 3 slots have landed. Might as well drill 4. And anyone that has a drill bench for sale, let me know, because I need a bigger one. And the delivery, unfortunately, from the UK is redonkulous. See, that's the good thing about having good drill bits. That thing upstairs is not through like batter. Now I've just got to make sure I keep these plates with this, because obviously the holes won't line up if I don't do it that way. Lovely. So this is the reason why I cut the little slots in, because there's obviously little strengthening bars there, and I didn't want to cut them out because you'll weaken the drill. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts in both sides. I'm going to do exactly the same thing again, no point in me showing you that. And then we just need to drill the angle brackets to the box and then to the bench itself. Okay, hopefully you get the idea now. You can see this is bolted straight through onto this. It's not actually bolted yet, but you get the idea. And then the 4 bolts will bolt the actual saw onto this. Then all we have to do is we can release this handle, lift it up, both handles, and we can actually take the saw off this bench. So that's what it's going to look like. The hardest thing is, well, not hardest thing, it's going to be a bit awkward, is getting the saw level, because before I drill the holes through the saw, I need to make sure the saw is level. And yeah, we're getting there. So I've got to do the same thing with the other side, drill or cut out the 3 little slots, drill 4 holes across the top, 2 holes on the bottom. Everything lines up, lovely jubbly. And then once I've done that, we'll level up the saw and put the saw on. I'm seriously overcomplicating things here. What I'm going to do is, I think I use this, what is it, 4mm plate. I might use this, I don't know, we'll see. But essentially, just put straps, strap there, three straps across. I'll weld the strap to the box, and then I'll bolt the strap to the actual saw. I think that is going to do it. I'm absolutely overcomplicating this, which is really no need. All that time and effort making them brackets, but anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. Weld them to there, bolt it there. I'll either make 3 or 4 brackets each side. I think 3 really is good enough. 1, 2, 3. I think 3 is going to be perfect. And it's just to have a base, that's all it is. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. Going to make 6 plates now, 6 of these, and be done with it. Ah, I should have thought that in the first place. The reason why I didn't want to do it this way, I didn't want to do any welding, because my welder is absolutely screwed up. It's not welding properly, it's just horrible. That's why I need to get a new welder, especially for doing this new car. I was just trying to do it without having to do any welding and bolt it and sandwich it for vibrations and blah, 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 blah. But I had to go down the welder route. Just a nightmare. Yeah, you'll see. What I was trying to do is just support it a lot more, but really it doesn't need it. It's sitting on this big heavy box, which is sitting on the frame here. It really doesn't need it. So all I'm going to do, no point me showing you, but once I get it done, I'll turn the camera back on. I kind of ran out of time today, but there's going to be 1 plate here, 1 plate there, and the next one there. I'm going to weld it to the box, and then I'm going to drill it and bolt it to the actual drill itself, and or the saw itself, and that will be it. This then I can take on and off as I need to and collapse my bench. I can still slide it. There's a good bit of movement forwards and backwards. Can't do it now because it's not tied down. So that's going to be it. Lovely. Right, there you go. Just very, very quickly welded. I just shot a bit of zinc primer on it just to stop it from rusting. But you get the idea. I haven't done the other side yet. I've run out of time. But it's nice and sturdy and stable, even though the other side isn't in. So that's what it's going to be. Anyone else that knows where there's a pillar drill for sale with a stand, and obviously can get to me in the UK, unfortunately is no good because the carriage is just way too much. And yeah, so this bad boy is going to be in action, making the spit for the car. We're going to be restoring, and obviously I'm going to bang in a roll cage in the van. And again, this bad boy is going to be it. My place is in a right 2 and 8 after all this. So yeah, so look. Hope it helps. Please like, share, subscribe, all the usual. Comment. Don't forget to check out my links down below to my Facebook, Patreon, and all that. Instagram. But most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.